It strengthened my resolve, to not work for him in 2027. And I couldn't, in all honesty and all consciousness and with my conscience, be in his government knowing I am plotting against his removal in 2027, because I will. By God, we will remove him. By God, we will remove President Bola Tinubu in 2027. And collectively, Nigerians will install a leader that will be our chosen, not his chosen, not Emi local. It will be our local. 2027 is Bobowa local. Every Nigeria loma in 2027.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the Senior Special Assistant to President Tinubu on Public Affairs, Aliyu Audu, recently resigned from his position. In his resignation letter, he wrote, "I write to formally tender my resignation, effective immediately. I thank the President for the opportunity to serve my fatherland under your visionary leadership." And then he went on to praise former presidential spokesman, Aliyu Audu, whose recommendation led to his nomination on August 26, 2023. So that was earlier in the month. But several days ago,
It's a matter of principle. It's a matter of...
he appeared on Channels Television, ostensibly to discuss the circumstances surrounding his resignation. But when asked to defend his decision, this was what he said.
I think it's a matter of principle. It's a matter of, living for something greater than oneself. It's a matter of believing that Nigeria is not beyond fixing. It's a matter of, actually understanding what loyalty means and to what or to whom your loyalty should be absolute. And being bold enough to take a decision, even if it's at a personal cost, or even if, the future is uncertain, I'd rather face an uncertain future than, be certain with, an immoral today.
So notice he was saying quite a lot there. Quite a lot that didn't include the very reason why he had resigned. So Ade Maokpe had to try a second time.
So what exactly has happened? What is the immorality?
It is no news that there was some sort of relationship between former governor of Rivers State, the current minister of FCT, and our then presidential candidate and the current president. In all honesty, there were a lot of justifiable reasons behind that. And because we were heading for election, the only thing bigger at that time than anything is ensuring we put our best foot forward. And clearly, from 1999 till date, there's been no better leader, than the current president, politically and administratively. But the moment we get there, it was a hard-fought battle. It was close. But everything was so against us that even it seemed like our party was against us. Our government then was against us, and it took the belief of a few people who understood what we needed at the point of 2023, the kind of president we needed to succeed the former president, so as to keep us on that track of actually realizing the Nigeria. It was hard fought, and we won. God blessed us with that victory. The one thing that we needed to do was to be grateful to God, and be sportsmanly in administering the country, meaning we had to unite the country and lead the country as a people to victory. When you get to a stage where our leading figure, role model, our leading poster child for progressive democracy prioritizes vengeance over collective progress.
Who's your leading poster child now?
It's the president.
Okay.
He's a progressive. Up until now, I have always seen him as a progressive. When I start questioning that, then I needed to ask myself if I'm where I really should be. And the answers kept coming, in the negative. until it got to a point where I could hold it no more. And I sought God's face, and he gave me approval. And I moved.
So that took a while, about 4 minutes, but he eventually managed to tie it up to vengeance. So what exactly are the clear evidence of this alleged vengeance? Yeah.
So you say that he started to prioritize vengeance over collective progress.
Yes.
In what way?
I mean, we've all been here for the sake of those who haven't been following politics from the 90s. We've all been here. We know what PDP did to the oppositions between 2003 and 2011, specifically 2003 and 2007. You know, we know what PDP, we know what former President Obasanjo Olusegun did as the president, how he muzzled his way into taking the entire Southwest, except for Lagos, who was manned by this man at the time. You know, and it didn't just stop there. It went on. But he survived it. Not because he was so good or he was too good. He is good, no doubt.
So, interestingly, let me quickly interrupt you, because you resigned on the 8th of June. The president, interestingly, gave a speech to the National Assembly on the 12th of June on this particular matter. You know, he also referred to the criticism that has now been leveled against him, that we're heading to a one-party state, and it would seem that, you know, it's like the APC is trying to destroy the opposition. And he had a very strong response in his address to the National Assembly to the opposition, that, you know, he certainly doesn't want Nigeria to be a one-party state, that they should stand and fight, but he's not in his place to arrange their house for them, and he's actually very happy that their house is in disarray.
That's the fear. That's the real fear.
So for you, when you listen to that speech, that confirmed the reason why you resigned?
It confirmed it on one hand, you know, and on the other hand, it strengthened my resolve, you know, to not work for him in 2027. And I couldn't, in all honesty and all consciousness and with my conscience, be in his government knowing I am plotting against his removal in 2027, because I will. By God, we will remove him. By God, we will remove President Bola Tinubu in 2027. And collectively, Nigerians will install a leader that will be our chosen, not his chosen, not any local. It will be our local. 2027 is Bobowa local. Every Nigeria lo mark on in 2027.
So I didn't hear the specific ways President Tinubu has been allegedly prioritizing vengeance in his government. As a matter of fact, I heard more of what former President Olusegun Obasanjo did than what President Tinubu is currently doing. But if you heard from him how the president has been vengeful, please let me know in the comment section. And when it became more apparent that he was sounding more like a rabble-rouser, a frustrated Maupe was then yet again forced to say this.
So from one end, you've gone from one extreme now, advocating very strongly for President Bola Tinubu to become president. He became president. You were in his cabinet speaking for him as his public affairs spokesperson. And now you have not only resigned, you say you're going to the other end, you know, to say you're going to work against him because he's overseeing the opposition in disarray?
No,
I'm not quite getting the why.
Our progress will come from healthy competition. Human progress comes from healthy competition. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the God Almighty, allow coexistence of belief and disbelief. When God created the world, before God created man, he had created angels, he had created jinns before he created man. But of these three creatures, only two he gave the sense of what is right and what is wrong. And that's the free will, the freedom that he gave to jinn and mankind. And it's upon this freedom that he's going to judge what we do with it on the last day. When you don't give a man a freedom, you cannot assess his performance. The angels are not going to be questioned on the last day because they don't even have the opportunity to err against God. They are built to like the zombies you have today, they are built to honor God day and night. They can't even make error. But in this case, it's about you don't necessarily need to help your opposition get up. But they are Nigerians. You don't succeed until every Nigerian succeed. So as a president, your responsibility is primarily the success of every Nigerian. I mean, how are you afraid of the person who was here yesterday and you were here and you defeated him? And you're now here and you think getting someone to permanently knee on the person's neck or getting them, you are more interested in finishing them than in moving forward collectively. I mean, he might have said he's not about that, but he said in Lagos that there's nothing wrong with one-party state. I've heard him say that there's nothing wrong with one-party state. That was wrong.
Please, who understands what this man is saying? And how in the first place did such an individual get this kind of job? And is this an indication of the kinds of people that are working with the president? And the idea that President Tinubu should be ensuring the opposition parties succeed, in my opinion, is ludicrous. And as far as I'm concerned, it is the duty of the opposition parties to ensure their ranks are not compromised, not that of the president or the ruling party. And when none of what he has been saying previously didn't look like they were making sense, he had to fall back on these low-hanging fruits.
What on earth is Wike doing in our government? If he's going to leave PDP, he should leave PDP.
No, you don't believe in government of national unity?
If you are doing government of national unity, you deal with the party, because the party is what we have on the ballot. Not Bola Tinubu president, it's APC. Not Atiku Abubakar, PDP. Not Peter Obi, but Labour Party. So if you are going to do government of national unity, we have to respect institutions.
I thought Wike was a shining star in this APC government. And it's okay to disagree with his brand of politics. But Wike, no matter how you dice it, has been more of a blessing than a curse to this administration. So again, I don't know what this so-called public affairs man is talking about. Now, to be clear, I'm all for people resigning if they want to. And there are loads of reasons anyone can lean on to get out of this Tinubu government. But shouldn't such reasons be clear, just, and principled?